So here are my 3 fundamental classroom management essentials that I normally use in my young learners' English classes in China. And if you skip one, your English classes can be a living nightmare. I have found that these steps have taken care of more than 80% of the behavior problems that I experience in a classroom. So here's how to turn your naughty students into model citizens. So number 1, rules. So design your rules to have both do's and don'ts. They are everything you want your students to do and not to do. If you forget about one rule, you might find that your students will do that one thing that you forgot to mention. So construct your rules to have your students behave the way you want them to behave. So here are my rules that I set in my class. For 6-year-olds and under, the rules are as follows. So first one is no pushing, no fighting. Second one, since I'm in China teaching English, it's no Chinese, no speaking Chinese in class, because I want my students to only use Chinese to help facilitate better learning. Third one, no talking to your neighbors or friends. So I don't want them to start talking to their neighbors. Fourth one, raise your hand. Fifth one, sit nicely. Sixth one, listen. Seventh one, no touching the board. I always go over each of these rules at the beginning of every class. This consistently reminds the students how they should behave in class. Additionally, rules can be added for specific classes. So for example, I had a class that loves to leave their desk and run around. I add an extra rule that they can't leave their desk, and if they do, they will get some form of punishment, which we will discuss now in our second essential. So number 2 essential is a reward system. So a reward system is a feedback loop that tells the students to keep doing something or not to do something. So for example, a student getting rewarded for good behavior will have good behavior. A student getting punished for misbehavior will ideally stop misbehaving. So a good reward system has both rewards and punishments. So here are some ideas that you can use for a reward system. So if they're really young, you can use stars. They care a lot about stars. And I might say the stars, hey, look at how many stars Romeo has. And because if he's really actively participating, and then that encourages like competition where everyone wants to do better and wants to do stars and raise their hands. You can also do stamps, stickers, candy, high five praise, verbal praise. So those are the positive rewards that you can do. So a research kind of also showed that when a computerized voice praised a group of participants during some form of test, they performed better than a control group who took the test that didn't have that computerized voice praising them. And the participants knew that the praise was artificial. However, it's still effective. So when you have students, you want to praise them. You want to praise them for good behaviors. That if they answered correctly, give them praise. If they give the wrong answer but they participated, you still want to encourage them to participate. Some of the negative feedback loop, some of the negative things for misbehavior punishments you can do is you can take away stars. So if they don't sit nicely and they start running around, you can take away their stars and let them know, can we do this? Yes or no. So you can take away stars. Stamps, you can reduce the stamps or stickers that they get, or maybe candy, you can also take away candy that you would normally give. So they care about these things, especially really young learners. So you want to take away as punishment, take away stars, the stamps, and remove them so that they know not to do those things in the future. High five praises are very effective. That really builds a connection. The younger learners, they really love the high fives. And I would say adults enjoy as well, because if you ever watch a sports game like basketball, NBA, you'll see that the teams that have the best chemistry, they give a lot of high fives. They always give physical contact, high five to their teammates when they do something good, when they make a point, or they make a steal or something to that nature. It's something that gives positive reinforcement to each other as a group. So high fives are very powerful. Verbal praise, you want to encourage them to give them positive feedback to let them know what they did was good. And then also, if they do something incorrectly, you also want to address it as well. Ask them, can we do this? Yes or no, whatever they did. And take away the stars if it's like they do it a repeated offense. So that's number 2 essential, the reward system. And you want to connect the rules and the reward system. You want to intertwine them together. So if they break a rule, they will lose some kind of reward, right? So the stars that they have, the stamps that they might get or already have, stickers, something to that nature, or candy, something to that nature of a reward, that they lose it. So they have something to lose. And you connect it, and so they know that I must do this in order to, I must obey the rules to get the reward. If I don't obey the rules, I lose out on the reward. And you want that feedback loop. You want them to know that that's what they need to do. And then the third classroom essential is a refocusing technique. So the refocusing technique is essentially what it sounds like. It's a technique to refocus the class. Whenever you transition from one activity to another activity, young learners will get distracted. They'll run around. They'll start talking to their partners. And you want to use a refocusing technique, some kind of chant that gets them back into a focus. So here are 3 highly effective ones that I personally use. So with younger learners, I'll say 1, 2, 3, and they respond ABC. So teacher says 1, 2, 3, class responds ABC. It stops them from whatever they're doing and has them respond and pay attention. Use this for 6 and under. The second one I use is class, and the students will respond yes. So class, yes. And this is basically same one as before, but I use it for a little bit older students. So maybe 6 to 12 years old, I'll use this refocusing technique. The third refocusing technique is a countdown from 5 seconds, or it could be any number. So it could be 3 seconds, but I go from 5 seconds if it takes some time. So the teacher will count down from 5 seconds. You say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it gets the class to stop what they're doing and refocus. And when it reaches 1, all the students must be in their seats. And if they're not in their seats, you take away stars. You give them some kind of punishment because they need to have been there, right? And you want to let them know that's down to 1. Where do we need to be? In our seats. And if they're still doing something else, they need that feedback loop. They need to understand what it is, what this countdown means. It's not some kind of arbitrary thing that we can kind of slide. So those are the 3 essentials. Number 1 is the rules. Number 2 is a reward system. And then number 3 is a refocusing technique. Combine all of those 3, you'll dramatically reduce the number of behavior problems that you'll have. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Have a great day.